Hey, Mark Lambert here with Sweet Swan of Mine Distributing. We're here talking about the red box today. And today we're going to talk to you a little bit about how to set up a fire. Depending on what you're cooking and what sort of temperatures you're looking for, there's a couple different ways to do it, but there are some serious considerations. So, first and foremost, we're cooking a little tasso ham today. It's just a highly seasoned smoked meat pork shoulder. And we're going to show you how to set it up dry. And we're going to show you, essentially the differences. So, this is an insulated water smoker, which means it's designed to use water as a barrier between the cooking chamber and the firebox. That water absorbs a lot of heat. So if you're using water, it's a totally different setup than if you're cooking dry like we are right here. We'll talk about water in just a second. So today, because we're cooking dry and this is an insulated box, it doesn't dissipate a lot of heat. What that means is we can only control the temperature that we're cooking at by means of how much fuel we put in it. So we usually run the damper wide open regardless of what we're doing, so keep that in mind. We've got, let me count our briquettes. This is a little short pit barrel chimney. I usually use a full Weber style chimney for cooking with water. So let's know that right now as well. So I'm going to see how many briquettes I've got here. I just eyeballed it. So I'm going to go spread these around, and I have right now 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 charcoal, B&B charcoal briquettes. That's all I'm going to need. I'm not looking for super high temperatures. If I was cooking like a chicken or wings, I'd want 350, 400 degrees. I usually go for about 15 to 16 charcoal briquettes. B&B charcoal briquettes specifically give me about 2 hours at my desired temperature. So I'm going to take this little bit of wood and I'm going to set it right over some of these coals to give me some good smoke. Close that up. I'll come in here, and I don't need both of these racks, so I don't want to leave both of them in. I've got it set up with a heat diffuser. If you're wondering what a heat diffuser is, it's this piece of metal that's got these fan blades cut out of it that helps mix this air as it comes from the firebox into the cooking chamber, and it also diverts some of the air around from the firebox in the bottom around the heat diffuser into a double wall, enters the cooking chamber because of the top. So essentially you're going to be cooking from the top and the bottom when you use this. When you remove the water pan completely and don't replace it with this heat diffuser, you're cooking straight up, one direction, direct flow, almost like roasting. And that's okay too, depending on what you want to cook. We can adjust the size of, or the angle of these fan blades that will give us either more reverse flow or more direct flow. So we've got a good mix of it right now. It should be pretty close to 50-50, and they're only bent down to about 22.5 degrees. We're going to put that back in place. You notice there's some smoke starting to come out of here now. We've got our tasso seasoned up and ready. We put a little bit of LeBlanc's Creole seasoning on one side. We put a little bit of Chupacabra Bayou-licious on the other side. And then a little bit of OBR Cajun seasoning as well for a nice mix of herbaceous and saltiness. These brined overnight. It's a real simple mix. I'll post a close rendition of it on the description, but it's about, I'm going to say, a half teaspoon of pink salt, a quarter cup of salt, quarter cup of sugar, and a little bit of Cajun seasoning. That was about it. So they set overnight. And we're going to take these now. This hasn't gotten hot yet, so I'm going to pull it about halfway out so it doesn't fall, and I'll load from the back. And I'll load a little heavy. And I don't care if these are touching because they're going to shrink. They're going to get lots of smoke on them. Some of these are real fatty pieces, some of them are lean pieces. And we're going to get a good hot smoke on this tasso. And I want it to dry up a little. It's going to get some char on it. It's going to dry a little. And these pieces I'm going to put across so they don't fall through. So I'm looking for some drying effect. Now you could put them in the dehydrator later if you wanted. I'm not wanting them that dry. What I'm looking for is a mild chew, but dry enough that this is got a good smoke flavor and doesn't add a lot of moisture to my dish. Tasso is a seasoning. It's not really a meat dish to be eaten straight. While some people do, this is designed to season another dish with. So this is highly seasoned, cured, smoked pork. And there we go. We're going to slide that in. probably going to take a good hour and a half, somewhere in there. I'll monitor the progress and let you guys know how long it takes and show you what it looks like when it comes out. So real quick, we're going to talk about how you want to set this up if you're doing a smoke with water on the red box. So we talked again, if you're using the water, use a full Weber style chimney, or maybe even 2 of those small pit barrel chimneys. And then in lieu of this heat diffuser, we're going to use a water pan. This is a disposable. I don't recommend disposables because these edges will collapse. Use the one that came with it. If you want to use this in the middle to help your water pan clean up easier, then you can use this as a disposable insert to your water pan. However, when you put this in, I like to completely fill the water pan full of water. Use an entire Weber chimney or 2 pit barrel chimneys, and then whatever additional charcoal that you can put in there, and only 3 or 4 chunks of wood is all it's going to take. So when you do it like that, you're going to get about 250 degrees for about 5 hours. Now if you've got it full of meat, it's going to take a while for that to get up to 250 degrees, but don't put your meat in until it's hot. It takes a little while, and don't put it in until you've got the full flame coming through the coals on the chimney. It don't have to be completely white, but make sure you got flames coming through the top. And then you can cook, and of course you'll need to rotate with water because it's hotter at the top than it is at the bottom. The air right over the water is always cooler than it is at the top, so you have to rotate more if you're filling the box up with water. So moral to the story is, if you are cooking with water, full chimney, fill it up, a little bit of wood, rotate your racks. Don't run out of water. That's the key. It'll get about 4 hours of burn of your water pan. Keep you a pitcher of water up here and just put a little bit at a time in until your meat's done, so you don't have a big pan of greasy water to deal with when it's over. When you're using the heat diffuser like this, 15, 16 briquettes, going to give you a good 300, 350 degrees. We're only looking for 275, so we're down at about 10 briquettes. We're going to do a little longer smoke with our tasso and get a little more drying effect. So the amount of fuel with no water is the only way to control it. When you put the water in, you can load it up and let it go. Okay, we just got our tasso where we like it. It's been about 2 hours and 41 minutes. So when we put this on, it's like 9 briquettes, and we let it come up slow. And it started to die just a little because the wind's really blowing heavy through here. We took after about an hour and 15 minutes, I put an additional 4 briquettes on there, and it's creeped up pretty high now. There's no cool meat on it, so it creeped up, and it's about 275 degrees now. But this is what the tasso looks like. Beautiful color, super spicy, heavily seasoned, salty, yummy seasoning meat. That's exactly what we're looking for. So I want to show you on a cook like this how much coal is left. 2 hours and 41 minutes later, like I said, we added 4 more briquettes, and that is our burn, you can see, of what's left. And it's running 275 degrees with that. So efficient, portable, inexpensive red box smoker, tasso ham. Hopefully now you guys get an idea of how to run it dry and how to run it with water. If you have any questions, always you can email us, mark@ssomd.com. Use hashtag barbecue know-how. God bless you. Thanks for watching.